Let's go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action from Patriot Championship Wrestling. It is great to be back on the channel. Al, Red Sox fan in the front row here tonight. Time for some wrestling. Welcome, my good friend. Neil Lau, the number one fan of the Heartland, is here along with Frank Wainscott. So it is great to see you all here as we have a big show for you tonight. Our main event will be a banger, a slobber knocker, an all-out war for the Patriot Tag Team Championship as Bruiser, Brody, and Jimmy Snuka defend the tag team titles against Hawk and Animal, the legendary Road Warriors. We have been looking forward to this one for weeks. Also tonight, if you were here on our 4th of July broadcast at Freedom Festival 2025, you know that there has been controversy around the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. The challenger, Kevin Steen, inexplicably disqualified as he took on the champion Pat Patterson for that title back on the channel 1 week ago. Tonight, we will have a special announcement, a special ruling from the Heartland Championship Committee as to the outcome of that match and the future of Kevin Steen as the number one contender potentially for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Also tonight we will have a couple of number one contender matches. The number one contender match for the the Patriot Heavyweight Championship will pit Buddy Rogers against John PESEK, the Nebraska Tiger Man. And the number one contender match for the Patriot Tag Team Championship will be conducted as Edge and Christian take on Don Curtis and Mark LEWIN. Thomas Morgan checking in and going to catch the replay later. Thank you, Thomas. There is not a single commissioner in the Heartland. There is a board of directors consisting of representatives of all of the territories, including Lance Russell, Bill Apter, Gordon Soley, and cheerleader Melissa, along with the legendary man himself, Epic Dave, who is the promoter of all of these territories. So we will hear from them later tonight. Before we came to action, before we came live, we had some action as the opening tag team match saw the Body Donnas team of Tom Pritchard and Chris Candido pick up the victory over the Mongols. Chris Candido getting the pin over Bolo Mongol through the use of the Blonde Bomb. Then we had Butch Reed get a big victory over Bob Armstrong. Pinfall victory for Butch Reed by way of a flying shoulder tackle. And just before we came to air, tag team action once again, as it was the team of Dutch Savage and Stan Stasiak defeating the team of Steve Kern and superstar Bill Dundee when Stasiak pinned Bill Dundee after a pile driver. And that brings us to tonight's opening televised match. And this one should also be a banger. The following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect for this one. Introducing first out of Tampa, Florida. He stands at 6'1" and weighs 270 pounds. This is Hercules Hernandez. And his opponent will be accompanied to the ring by Percy Pringle III. He is from Silsbee, Texas, standing at 6'4", weighing 384 pounds, representing the faction known as Bagpipes, Body Slams, and Beatboxing. This is Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. So Mark Henry set to take on Hercules Hernandez here tonight in singles action to open the show under the watchful eye of one Percy Pringle. And as we get things rolling, it will be Mark Henry taking the opening initiative role and starting things off with a powerful shove. But Hercules Hernandez, a big, strong guy in his own right, will not go down. And in fact, it is Hercules who responds with a big fist to the side of the head. That does nothing to faze Mark Henry. And Henry comes back and gives Hercules Hernandez a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Hercules Hernandez, and on a roll of 7, it is Henry with a running back elbow that stuns Hercules. Henry will follow that up and just stand on the chest of Hercules Hernandez, flexing over him. Hercules not very happy about that. And Henry is going to keep that up just to annoy and to taunt Hercules. And as Hercules gets to his feet, Henry nails him with a big headbutt, stunning Hercules. But Hercules follows that up with a knee to the gut. Hercules' knee to the gut, and then a big backbreaker across the knee attempted by Hercules. Didn't get all of that one, got enough of it to take Henry off his feet. And now Hercules drops a falling fist on Henry. Henry slowly getting to his feet. Hercules hits him with a knee lift. Now both men come together in the center of the ring, and it is Hercules attempting a body slam. That's not going to happen, as Mark Henry has the strength advantage and about 115 pounds weight on Hercules Hernandez. Hercules not used to that. He's used to being the big bully. But Henry put a stop to that with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Hercules, and on a roll of 5, it is Hercules who bounces forward off of the turnbuckle and nails Mark Henry with a skull-splitting running lariat. Henry goes down, slowly getting to his feet as Hercules takes control with another whip to the turnbuckle. Thought twice about that one, and instead Hercules is just going to go with a kick to the ribs. Henry stiff and sore there in those ribs. And again, Hercules trying to bully Mark Henry. That's not going to happen, as Henry, in turn, is going to follow up and just shove Hercules Hernandez back first against the turnbuckle. Hercules a little bit stunned by that. Henry comes at him now with a big backbreaker, and that is going to send Hercules down to the canvas and rolling out of the ring and down to the arena floor. On the arena floor is Hercules. Both these men are B-rated brawlers. But on a roll of 5, it is Hercules who will win the brawl on the arena floor with a running clothesline on the arena floor. And now Hercules is going to go for the big backbreaker. This is a +2 finisher. The pin roll here will be 4 or lower. And on a roll of 6, Henry able to kick out. First point of fatigue of the match absorbed by Mark Henry. Let's see if Hercules can follow up. He's going to pitch Henry out of the ring and down to the floor again. And this time it is Henry who wins the brawl on the arena floor with an Irish whip into the ring barricade. We will not see a disqualification on that move, but as they come back into the center of the ring, it is Mark Henry who's going to go for a second rope splash. Second rope splash coming up. He will need a death jump roll for that, and on a roll of 9, he hits the second rope smash. And he is going to follow that up with a sliding rope straddle, just choking down Hercules again. Playing some mind games here is Mark Henry, trying to get the best of Hercules and frustrate him. And now he is going to hit a backbreaker again on Hercules, and Hercules again rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on a roll of 7, it is Henry again winning the brawl on the arena floor with a big suplex down hard onto the concrete, and Hercules Hernandez is stunned. Henry stays on him. He's going to go back to that second rope splash. He hits it again, and Hercules is stunned. Henry follows that up with a big splash, and Hercules is down. Can Henry continue to do some damage here? He goes for another big splash. Hercules slowly getting to his feet. Both men now getting to their feet. Henry still in control. And oh my goodness, what a show of strength Henry has lifted Hercules Hernandez, all 275 pounds of him, up over his head, and slams Hercules down to the canvas hard. And now it is Henry with another backbreaker, putting Hercules down on the mat. And Henry now going up for that second rope splash once again. And again, he hits that second rope splash. Hercules bearing the full weight of that 385-pound man. And now it is the world's strongest slam. The world's strongest slam has been executed by Mark Henry. That is a +3 finisher. The pin roll here is 6. And on a roll of 5, he got him. So Mark Henry is your winner with the world's strongest slam. So congratulations to the big man, Mark Henry, for winning our opening televised match here tonight on the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network. And another disappointment for Hercules. Hercules took the Heartland by storm back in January when he was the surprise winner of the 2025 Buckeye Bowl, but he could not parlay that into a championship title match. And tonight, it is Mark Henry who gets the best of Hercules, and again, Hercules goes home disappointed. As Mark Henry and Percy Pringle celebrate with a little beatboxing, and Mark Henry goes for the accordion, but the fans here at ringside are more enthusiastic about Mark Henry's performance in the ring than they are his accordion skills. All right. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have a number 1 contenders match. Following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect for this one. This is a number 1 contenders match for the Patriot Tag Team Championship. Introducing first, team number 1. He stands at 6'1". He weighs 230 pounds out of Buffalo, New York. This is Don Curtis. And his tag team partner also hails from Buffalo, New York, standing at 6'2", weighing 252 pounds. This is Mark LEWIN. So Mark LEWIN and Don Curtis. LEWIN, of course, would later be known as the Purple Haze, alongside Kevin Sullivan. But their opponents, at a total combined weight of 455 pounds, out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It is Edge and Christian. So Edge and Christian, couple of fine bootlegs here provided by the WH lineup collection. Artwork by Werner Muke, the genius himself. And before we get into the match, next weekend I am scheduled to head down to Waterloo, Iowa, about a 3-hour drive for the weekend induction ceremonies for the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, the Tragos Thez Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, just 3 hours down the road. Edge is scheduled to be at that event for the purpose of inducting Ron Hutchinson, his trainer, into the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. We just got word this week that Edge has some travel conflicts. He may or may not be able to attend the meet and greet, so I may or may not get a chance to meet Edge and get a photo op, or just see him from a distance at the banquet. But lots of great folks will be at that banquet. John Bradshaw Layfield will be there. I hope to get his autograph on his newly minted Filsinger Games card. One of my all-time wrestling heroes, Medusa, will be in attendance. Ron Simmons will be in attendance as well. And a number of other folks that I am looking forward to rubbing shoulders with again in Waterloo, as well as the whole Filsinger Games crew. Typically, Chad and Corey Olson, Stu Lowry, Tim Dalton, all the guys from the Uncharted Territory podcast will be there. Mike Molesky, representing the Filsinger Games company, is typically in attendance. So next weekend will be a good time of catching up with the gang and rubbing shoulders with some legends of the sport of wrestling. Jerry Briscoe, of course, the host of that, and the master of ceremonies throughout the weekend. All right, and with that, we will head to our number one contenders match. The winner of this match will become number one contenders and face whoever wins or at least survives tonight's main event as the champions Brody and SNUKA take on the Road Warriors. So who will be next in line, we will find out here tonight as Edge and Mark Lewin come to the center of the ring. They exchange a handshake, and as they come together, it is Mark Lewin who takes the advantage with a standing dropkick, and that stuns Edge. Edge not able to get a tag made as Lewin takes control, and Lewin now with a series of overhand chops, putting Edge down onto the canvas. Edge still not able to make the tag as those punishing chops of Lewin have temporarily incapacitated him. And now Lewin is going to go for a double stomp. This is a choice C maneuver. He'll need 7 or lower to hit the double stomp, and on a roll of 7 he is successful. But Edge is able to roll away from that, and both men get back to their feet. They come together once again in the center of the ring, and now it is Edge taking control with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Mark Lewin, and on a roll of 10, that is the power roll, and Mark Lewin does have the power advantage. So Lewin will take over, and he's going to go ahead and tag in Don Curtis. Don Curtis now the fresh man in this match for his team, and he comes out and greets Edge with a forearm smash. Edge still unable to make the tag as Curtis picks him up and slams him down to the canvas in a body slam. Edge gets quickly to his feet, but Curtis ducks behind him and catches him in a full Nelson. Still no ability of Edge to get over and make the tag as Curtis holds that full Nelson and then just gives him a forearm smash across the back. They come back together again in the center of the ring, and this time it's Edge once again with a whip to the ropes. On a roll of 7, that is the drop down, come off the other way. And on a roll of 8, it's Edge with a running back elbow that stuns Don Curtis and gives Edge the opportunity to tag Christian into the match for the first time. Christian now in control with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Don Curtis on a roll of 6. That is a reversal. Christian sent into the turnbuckle, and now as Christian bounces off the turnbuckle, Curtis catches him with a big kick. And into a body slam on Christian. Both men again get to their feet, and this time it is Christian who is going to attempt a running clothesline. That is a choice C maneuver, choice C. So he will need a roll of 7 or lower to hit that. On a roll of 6, he connects. And that sends Curtis down to the canvas. Curtis able to make the tag to his partner, Mark Lewin. And Lewin now comes into the ring to square off against Christian. Curtis attempting a front face lock. Christian, the more agile of the two men, ducks out of the way of that and returns fire instead with a head scissors in the corner. Christian following that up again, working that head scissors in the corner. And now with a, he's not going to do the whip to the ropes. Instead, he tries a backbreaker and is unsuccessful in doing so as Lewin has the power advantage. And Lewin instead nails a kick to the gut on Christian. Christian not able to get a tag made as Lewin is in control. And Lewin now goes with a big knee lift. Christian still not able to make the tag as Lewin follows up with a, he's not going to use the whip to the ropes, instead a forearm uppercut. Christian fires right back. He's going to try that basement clothesline again. Lewin ducks under the clothesline and comes back instead with a lockup in the center of the ring. Christian wins that and converts that into a standing choke on the ropes. Dirty tactics there by Christian. Good evening to Charles Helms. Charles, good to see you, my man. Christian now in control and hits a big missile drop kick off of the second rope. Lewin stunned by that. And Christian follows that up with a spinning heel kick. And Lewin again is stunned. Christian going to make the tag into Edge. And it is Edge who is going to come with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Mark Lewin, but on a roll of 5, it is Lewin who lifts a knee to the head of Edge to take the advantage, and follows that up again with a snapmare to take Edge over and down to the canvas. Quick tag made back into Christian. As Christian comes in with a head scissors on Lewin, head scissor takeover, followed up by another big missile dropkick off of the second rope. Lewin still unable to make the tag, and Christian now comes at him with a frog splash and stuns Mark Lewin. Didn't quite get all of that. Can't go for the cover as Lewin is able to roll free. But another big second rope drop kick from Christian stuns Mark Lewin. And now Edge hits the ring, and we're going to see a double team attempt by Edge and Christian. On a roll of 8, it is Edge with a running elbow smash onto Mark Lewin to maintain control. Edge now with a big boot to the face. Lewin slowly gets to his feet. Edge tries the body slam, but that is a power move. Lewin with the power advantage comes back instead with a snapmare to take Edge back down to the canvas. Lewin now with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Edge, and on a roll of 6, he reverses that, sending Lewin into the turnbuckle, and it is Edge with a big kick that stuns Mark Lewin. Edge follows that up with a big flapjack, taking Lewin down to the canvas. And following that up now with another whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Lewin, and again a big kick by Edge stuns Mark Lewin. Double team attempt coming up for Christian. And on a roll of 9, it is Christian with a big forearm smash as Edge holds Lewin in place. And Christian now takes over with another big missile dropkick off of the second rope. Christian has taken to the air on a couple of occasions, and it has worked to his benefit. Now here's a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Lewin, and Christian hits him with a spinning back elbow. Christian now with a whip to the turnbuckle, reversed by Mark Lewin. And Lewin now hits Christian with a big kick, and Lewin is going to tag in partner Don Curtis, who is the fresh man on the ring apron. Curtis going to come in with an attempt at a knee lift. He is going to need a roll of 8 or lower to hit that. Christian successfully able to avoid the knee lift and instead misses with a spinning heel kick. Curtis with the superior agility now hits Edge with a big drop kick. Curtis now with the momentum coming with a flying mare that takes Christian back down to the canvas. Another drop kick by Curtis. Now Lewin coming into the ring with a double team opportunity, but on a roll of 10, the double team misfires, and it is Christian who is able to avoid the double team and come back with a blow to Curtis as they collide. Christian goes up to the second rope and hits a flying forearm onto Curtis, and Curtis once again is stunned. Now a whip to the turnbuckle. Curtis coming off the turnbuckle, and on a roll of 11, it is an incredible neck-breaking clothesline delivered by Christian that puts Don Curtis on the canvas. What's he going to do now? Christian going up to the top rope for a death jump. He has had some success in the air tonight, and on a roll of 7, he hits a big missile drop kick that puts Curtis back on his keister. Edge comes in for the double team, and on a roll of 6, it is a bone-crunching double clothesline. Edge now in control as Curtis is in trouble. And now it is Edge going to go up for the death jump. And he nails a big flying clothesline off of the top rope. Edge now with a spear. Edge hits the spear. That's a +2 finisher. The pin roll here is 5. But on a roll of 11, Curtis able to kick out. And Edge now is in control as Curtis barely able to kick out of that. And Edge now with the execution. That is an add 1 move. Curtis desperately trying to make a tag and is able to get there. Curtis escaping danger with that tag. Lewin now the fresh man into the ring against Edge, who has all the momentum, but a standing drop kick from Lewin is missed. And Edge keeps on the offense with a big flapjack that puts Lewin face down onto the canvas. Edge now with the big Edge-o-matic. He is going to go for the cover on Lewin. The pin roll here is 3. And on a roll of 11, Lewin is able to kick out. But Edge doing all kinds of damage here. And now he is going to go for an electric chair on Lewin. This is a choice D maneuver. Choice D. So he will need a roll of 8 or lower to connect on that. But on a roll of 11, Lewin powers his way out of the attempted electric chair and comes back instead with a stinging overhead chop that stuns Edge. He took the taste right out of Edge's mouth with that big overhead chop. And Edge is going to come out and tag into to Christian and let Christian get a taste of that action. Christian comes in with a corner head scissors, taking Lewin down to the canvas. Lewin not able to make the tag as Christian follows up with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Lewin, and on a roll of 7, that's the drop down, come back the other way. And on a roll of 10, that is the power roll. And the power belongs to Mark Lewin. So they collide in the center of the ring, and Lewin is first to his feet. Lewin follows that up with a whip to the ropes of his own. And on a roll of 7, again, that's the drop down. And on a roll of 8, it is a spinning back elbow delivered by Lewin that puts Christian back on his heels. Lewin follows that up with a big overhand chop to Christian, about slapping the taste out of his mouth. And now Curtis coming in for an attempt at a double team, and this is going to be a good one. On a roll of 3, imagine a devastating double team move that fits the style of your tag team. That is an add 1. And Curtis is now in the ring and in control with a chance to do some more damage to Christian here. Curtis going up for a jumping knee smash that stuns Christian. Both men getting to their feet. Curtis still in control. He's going to try for a knee lift. This is a choice F maneuver. He'll need 8 or lower to hit that. And on a roll of 7, he hits the big knee lift. And Christian again is staggered. Curtis stays on and big drop kick. Christian desperately trying to make the tag, unable to do so. Curtis in control now, is going to go for the sleeper. Sleeper hold applied by Don Curtis. This is his finisher. The submission roll here is 6 or lower. Edge has to come and make the save, and on a roll of 5, the save is successful. As the referee is putting Edge out of the ring, Lewin comes in. We're going to see a double team here on Christian. And on a roll of 10, it is a deadly elbow smash delivered by Mark Lewin onto Christian. Lewin is now in control, and he comes with a standing drop kick, and Christian is able to sidestep that, and Christian comes back instead and just chokes Mark Lewin and shoves him into the ropes and has him pinned neck first against the rope. Referee puts the count on, and Christian breaks the count, but right into a reverse DDT. Christian grabbed Lewin off the ropes and just dumped him on the back of his head. Lewin is stunned. Here comes Edge for a double team attempt, and on a roll of 4, that is a devastating double team move by Edge and Christian. That's going to cost Lewin a point of fatigue. Edge now the legal man in the ring and in control. And Edge with the execution, adding yet another point of fatigue to Mark Lewin. Lewin desperately trying to get over to make the tag, is able to do so. As Lewin able to make the desperation tag to Don Curtis. Don Curtis moving out now against Edge. Tries to catch Edge in a headlock. Edge reverses that very quickly with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Don Curtis, and on a roll of 8, it is a big kick delivered by Edge. Edge follows that up with another whip to the turnbuckle. And another big kick. Curtis is staggered as Edge stays on him with a big boot to the face. Curtis able to sidestep that one and try for a front face lock. Reversal by Edge into a front face lock of his own. Edge maintaining the front face lock on Don Curtis. This has been a supremely good battle. And now a swinging neck breaker attempted, but Curtis able to dodge that one instead. goes for the takedown. These two men battling for control in the center of the ring. And oh, it is Edge who gets the leg dive, picks Curtis up and slams him face first down to the mat with a big flapjack. And that stunned Don Curtis. And now Edge with a half Nelson face buster. Again, keeping Curtis stunned. Another big flapjack by Edge. Here comes Christian in for a double team, and on a roll of 7, it is Christian with a big running forearm smash that stuns Don Curtis. Christian now with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Don Curtis, and Christian hits him with a big kick. Christian follows that up with another big second rope missile drop kick, and Curtis is going to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor. First time I think we've seen these men go to the arena floor. And on a roll of 9, it is Christian who is going to win the brawl on the arena floor with an Irish whip into the ring barricade. Curtis is stunned. Christian is in control, and on a roll of 6, he's going for the kill switch. This is a +2 finisher. The pin roll here is 7. Mark Lewin tries to make the save, is unable to do so. So on a roll of 7 or lower, Don Curtis will be pinned, and on a roll of 7, he got him. So Christian gets the win with the kill switch. And we have new #1 contenders for the Patriot Tag Team Championship. Edge and Christian are next in line for a title shot against whoever survives tonight's main event Tag Team Championship. All right, let's catch up with who's in the chat room. Thomas Morgan stopped by. Charles Helms also stopped by. Al Red Sox and Neil Lau. And while Charles is here, I will give an update. Charles was one of the people that really was very supportive of me 2 weeks ago when my son Paul was out in Denver vacationing with us after Play.con. And for those of you who haven't heard, my son in Denver got hit by a car and late Saturday night, and we were all very shaken up about that, and I was pretty numb from all of the dismay that took place when I got back to the hotel, and Charles and a couple other guys were there to kind of talk me through and support me through that. Thanks to Charles and to Keith Curtis and to Mark Russell, who was also there to provide some emotional support. And Charles, I am very pleased to report that my son is doing great. He is not back to work yet, but he got the staples out of his head this week, and so his head injury is healing nicely. Seems to be in good spirits. He's still going to be off work for a couple more weeks as a result of his fractured collarbone and his rib fracture, but his company also being very supportive, offering some short-term disability, and you know, in no way is his employment situation under question. So that could have gone a whole lot worse. So again, thank you to Charles for his support, and to everybody who has reached out on behalf of my son over the past couple weeks as he recovers from his accident that happened 2 weeks ago in Denver. All right, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will head to our next matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This is a #1 contenders match for the Patriot Heavyweight Championship. The winner of this match will get a shot at Strangler Lewis for the Patriot Heavyweight Championship the next time that Lewis is scheduled to defend. Introducing first, out of Camden, New Jersey. He is standing at 6'1", weighing 227 pounds. This is the original Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers. And his opponent hails from Ravenna, Nebraska. Standing at 6 foot tall, weighing 185 pounds. This is John the Tiger Man, the Nebraska Tiger Man, John PESEK. PESEK, of course, from the Tragos Wrestling Hall of Fame set number 2. And Buddy Rogers, one of the Filsinger game originals. You can find this card in the color expansion set that is the first ever release of color cards in the Filsinger universe. Buddy Rogers has developed a reputation as one of the most hated men in the Heartland. He earned this shot as a result of a victory over Harley Race after a splendid technical match. Race and Rogers went back and forth, and Buddy Rogers won that match with a pin using the ropes, and fans were just completely disgusted by that. Not that Harley Race is anybody's fan favorite, but the fact that Rogers would employ a shortcut to gain the decision in such a beautifully fought technical match just really raised the ire of a lot of fans around Patriot Championship Wrestling. So PESEK will be the favorite of the crowd here tonight, albeit probably still an underdog compared to the legendary prowess and grappling skill of one Buddy Rogers. And as they come together in the center of the ring, it is indeed Buddy Rogers who takes the advantage and just comes out and slaps PESEK right across the face. Rogers with an arrogant strut around the ring. PESEK not going to have any of that. He's going to approach Buddy Rogers and attempt a shoulder throw. This is a choice F maneuver, choice F. So he will need a roll of 6 or lower to connect with the throw. And on a roll of 7, PESEK is able to avoid the shoulder throw. Excuse me, Buddy Rogers able to avoid the shoulder throw. And it is Rogers who now wraps PESEK up into a front face lock and just picks him up and dumps him face down onto the mat with a pile driver. Very effective reversal there by Buddy Rogers. PESEK going to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor to collect his thoughts, and here we go. But on a roll of 4, both men are brawling, and this is the double disqualification roll. PESEK will not be disqualified. Buddy Rogers will not be disqualified. And on a roll of 1, it is Buddy Rogers who wins the brawl on the arena floor with a big suplex down onto the concrete. PESEK stunned by that. Able to beat the 10 count back into the center of the ring, and Buddy Rogers just knocks him right back off of the ring apron, and here we go again down to the arena floor. And this time on a roll of 8, Buddy Rogers once again is the aggressor and takes advantage with a body slam onto the arena floor. PESEK is down, and Rogers now is going to try that pin using the ropes again. PESEK this time is not going to fall for that as he grabs the bottom rope and pulls himself out of the ring and down to the arena floor yet again. And yet again, it is Buddy Rogers coming out of the ring and slamming the head of PESEK into the ring post. Boy, John PESEK can't win for losing. He goes in the ring and Buddy's in control. He goes out of the ring and Buddy's giving him a whooping. And Buddy Rogers now in control, and he is going to go up for the death jump. Coming off with the death jump, and on a roll of 11, that is a perfectly executed cross body block. Rogers going for the cover. The pin roll here is 3, and on a roll of 5, PESEK able to kick out, but Buddy Rogers dominating this match. And Buddy Rogers now tries that pin again using the ropes. Not going to happen, and John PESEK has about had enough of that. Out of the ring he goes again, and this time it is PESEK who takes control on the arena floor and just slams Buddy Rogers onto the announcer's table. PESEK was trying to maintain his focus. Buddy Rogers pushed his buttons one too many times, and Buddy Rogers has paid the price. PESEK now in control. Carrying the brawl out of the ring again, and now we're going to see some shenanigans brought to you by John PESEK, assuming I can find my my 12-sider. And on a roll of 6 on the arena floor, it is going to be a foreign object coming into play. PESEK has, well, there's no title belts available in this match, so instead it is PESEK who has gone into the in the crowd, and somebody has handed PESEK a boot. And PESEK is going to come after Buddy Rogers with this boot. There's going to be a battle for control of the boot. And on a roll of 9, it is PESEK who wins the battle for control of the boot. And PESEK gives Buddy Rogers a wallop with the boot. They come back into the ring, and now it is PESEK with a double wrist lock, and that's more what we're accustomed to seeing out of John PESEK. He would rather wrap a man up and submit him than brawl with him. And now here is a waistlock slam delivered by PESEK, and it's Buddy Rogers who's going to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on a roll of 8, this time it is PESEK with a cannonball off of the ring apron that sends Buddy Rogers into a heap on the arena floor. Boy, PESEK has got his dander up now, and he is coming back with a vengeance, grinding his forearm into the face of Buddy Rogers. PESEK follows that up with a headlock and a cross trip, taking Buddy Rogers down to the canvas. Good technical series of moves here by PESEK. Chain wrestling, now a lateral press key lock. That is a submission hold. Rogers will take a point of fatigue for that, but he's only got a 1 rating on the pin roll, so there is no pin roll. As PESEK maintains control and again grinds the forearm across the face of Buddy Rogers. PESEK now with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Buddy Rogers, but on a roll of 4, that's going to be good for Buddy Rogers. As Rogers comes off the rope with a big knee smash to the side of the head of PESEK, and PESEK is down and stunned. Rogers now is going to go back up for another death jump. And on a roll of 6, it is Buddy Rogers coming off the top rope with a big clothesline that takes PESEK down to the canvas. Rogers back in control. Out of the ring we go again. And this time it is Buddy Rogers winning the brawl on the arena floor with a big pile driver of John PESEK onto the ring steps. And PESEK is stunned after that one. Good match these two are having. Out of the ring we go again. And again, it is Buddy Rogers in control and slamming the head of John PESEK into the ring apron. So PESEK now has taken a couple of lumps to the noggin. And Rogers back in the ring now is going for the figure 4 grapevine. This is his finisher, and it's a dandy. It's a +4 finisher. The submission roll here is 8. And on a roll of 12, PESEK able to reverse that and get out of the figure 4 leg lock. Buddy Rogers is stunned. He thought he had everything wrapped up here. What's Buddy Rogers going to do now? Out of the ring we go again. And they are brawling on the arena floor, and it is Rogers with an Irish whip into the ring steps. PESEK hitting hard. Rogers now with a big elbow drop onto PESEK. Both men now back in the ring, and it is Rogers going for a jumping knee smash that sends PESEK out of the ring and back down to the arena floor. And this time it is PESEK winning the brawl on the arena floor with an Irish whip into the ring barricade. We'll not see a disqualification here. We'll see PESEK back in control. He is not going to go back out of the ring. Instead, he is going to go with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Buddy Rogers, and on a roll of 7, that's a reversal. Rogers flinging PESEK into the turnbuckle, and PESEK comes off, and Rogers catches him with a big kick. Rogers now in control with a big series of drop kicks. Rogers going for a quick cover here. The pin roll is 5, and on a roll of 7, PESEK able to kick out. But Rogers has regained control of this one. Can he get a finisher here? He's going to try that pin using the ropes, and PESEK is having none of it as he crawls right back out and gets right back to his feet. Buddy Rogers maintains control with another slap to the face of John PESEK. PESEK is beside himself now with anger as Buddy comes at him with a flying head scissors, a choice C maneuver. Choice C. He'll need 8 or lower to connect on that. On a roll of 7, he got him over, but PESEK first to his feet with a reversal, and PESEK now with a big waistlock slam that takes Rogers down to the canvas. We are seeing a dandy in this #1 contenders match. Here's a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Rogers, and on a roll of 10. That is the power roll, and Buddy Rogers has the power advantage. He will take over with another big drop kick that sends PESEK reeling. Rogers comes at him again with a whip to the ropes. PESEK coming off the ropes, and on a roll of 2, it is PESEK with a sunset flip, going for the cover, the pinroll here, Snake Eyes, and on a roll of 8, Rogers able to kick out. But a very alert reversal there by John PESEK, and PESEK now goes for the scissors and the wrist lock. That is an add 1 maneuver, and for some reason a disqualification hold. He may be doing something untoward with the use of that wrist lock. He will not be disqualified. And instead he will be able to maintain control with another whip to the ropes as the referee separates him. Off the ropes comes Buddy Rogers with a shoulder tackle. Rogers follows that up with a whip to the ropes of his own. And on a roll of 10, that is the running double clothesline. Rogers has the better ropes rating, so he will take over with a chance to do some more damage here. And another pin using the ropes. And PESEK again refuses to fall for it, squirming his way free. And as he gets up, Buddy Rogers whips him to the turnbuckle. And off the turnbuckle comes PESEK. He reverses that and sends Buddy Rogers into the turnbuckle and greets Buddy Rogers with a big kick. PESEK back in control with another waistlock slam, and now Rogers is down. PESEK now is going to go for that grinding forearm to the face, just to inflict some more punishment, followed by a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Rogers, and PESEK catches him with a big kick, followed by another waistlock slam that puts Rogers back on the canvas. Back and forth we go. PESEK with another whip to the ropes. Rogers this time with a running shoulder tackle that knocks PESEK down. And now a jumping knee smash delivered by Buddy Rogers out of nowhere. He goes for the cover. The pin roll here is 6. And on a roll of 7, PESEK barely got out of that one. Foot over the ropes, as Buddy was just a little too close to the ropes when he knocked PESEK down with that jumping knee smash. But Rogers is back in control and now tries that pin using the ropes again. The pin roll here is 7, and he got him. Buddy Rogers again, after another beautiful match, using the ropes to his advantage to score the pinfall. And again, the fans here in New York City are beside themselves. Rogers had tried the figure 4 grapevine. He tried all kinds of shenanigans on the arena floor. Got a near fall with a jumping knee smash, but PESEK was able to get his foot over the ropes. Rogers immediately cradled him, and using those same ropes for leverage, was able to put PESEK down and hold his shoulders down for the 3 count. And Buddy Rogers has earned himself another shot at the Patriot Heavyweight Championship. It will be Rogers against Strangler Lewis. Should be another all-time technical classic between those 2 men. All right, so congratulations to Buddy Rogers. He didn't make any friends, but he made money, and he made his way to a #1 contender shot at the Patriot Heavyweight Championship. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Heartland Championship Committee, we are joined at ringside by Bill Apter, who is the Commissioner of Patriot Championship Wrestling, and representing the Championship Committee, as we're about to have a special announcement about Kevin Steen and his request for a championship rematch. Steen lost by disqualification in controversial fashion to the current champion, Pat Patterson, at the Freedom Festival show in Cincinnati, and has demanded a rematch. Now, Steen originally earned that match by winning this year's Money in the Bank ladder match. Steen's contention is that since he also won the Digital to Dice tournament, that he should be entitled to a championship rematch by virtue of that victory. Bill Apter represents Patriot Championship Wrestling, and neither Patterson nor Steen has any affiliation with the Patriot territory. So Bill Apter is the perfect guy to bring forward this announcement. And we're going to go to the Filsinger Games, ringside companion number 1. And in this chart we have, in this book we have the commissioner chart. And if you don't have the Filsinger Games ringside companion, I encourage you that this would be a very worthwhile investment. This is a great book with lots of specialty matches and specialty charts contained herein. Some of these are relevant to the Legends of Wrestling dice game. Some of them are relevant to the fictitious sister game, the Champions of the Galaxy. But one of the features of the ringside companion is the commissioner charts. And we have a fair commissioner. There's a fair and an unfair commissioner to choose from. And so the title shot roll for the fair commissioner is a roll of D6, and of course we're going to use the championship dice to make this roll, because this is a World Heavyweight Championship stipulation. The roll is 7. Non-title match granted. If you win the non-title match, you get the title shot. And Steen is very happy with that stipulation. A non-title match will be granted. He is requesting that this be a no disqualification match. So the question is, will the championship committee allow that? Will the championship committee allow this to be a no disqualification match, considering the way that the last match ended? I'm going to say on a roll of so we'll give the advantage to Steen and this request, because I think this is a good request. So we're going to roll a D12, and on rolls of 5 to 12, this will be a no disqualification match. On a roll of 1 to 4, standard disqualification rules will be in effect. The roll is a 1, so this will be disqualification rules in effect. So Pat Patterson and Kevin Steen will both have to be on their best behavior for this match. Actually, Pat Patterson can do anything he wants, because if, if he gets disqualified, he has to defend the title. So both men will have to be on their best behavior in the rematch, because it will be a disqualification stipulation. And if either man is disqualified, then they're not going to get their desired outcome. Steen will lose his title shot if he is disqualified. And if Patterson is disqualified, he will be forced to defend his title against Kevin Steen at our next pay-per-view. All right, so the announcement has been made. Kevin Steen has been granted a non-title match against Pat Patterson. Disqualification rules will be in effect for that one, and we will get that one on the channel here in the weeks to come. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for our main event of the evening. This is the match we have all been waiting for. We've had some good matches here tonight. All of our televised matches have been back and forth, very competitive, and all very well contested battles. And in this one, we're just going to throw all of that out the window, because this is going to be nothing but a Pier 6 brawl, as Gordon Soley would say. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect for this one, and this is a match for the Patriot Tag Team Championship. Introducing first the challengers. At a total combined weight of 62 pounds, out of Chicago, Illinois, accompanied to the ring by Gary Hart, it's Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors. And their opponents are your reigning and defending Patriot Tag Team Champions. Introducing first, from the Isle of Fiji. He stands at 6 foot tall. He weighs 250 pounds. This is Jimmy SNUKA. And his tag team partner from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Standing at 6'7", weighing 284 pounds. This is BRUISER BRODY. So BRODY and SNUKA are your defending Patriot Tag Team Champions. Hawk and Animal are the challengers. Brought to the ring by Gary Hart, who is the, to some extent, the brains, and definitely it is the very generous checkbook of Gary Hart that has brought the Road Warriors to this title match. Hart brought the Road Warriors in as nothing more than hired muscle, but the Road Warriors had championship ambitions, and Hart was none too happy to support that. Charles H. shouting, "LOD, LOD," as are most folks here in the arena here in New York City. As all four men are set to go, there will be no handshakes, just the steely-eyed glare of four very powerful and very dangerous competitors sizing one another up. And it will be SNUKA starting the match off for his team against Road Warrior Hawk. And the opening initiative role goes to Road Warrior Hawk. And he comes out and just gouges the eyes of Jimmy SNUKA. Wow. Statement made there by Hawk. He doesn't care nothing about disqualification rules. And he now picks Jimmy SNUKA way up high into the air and just slams him to the mat with a press slam. BRUISER BRODY on the ring apron is outraged. SNUKA trying to get to his feet. And Hawk's on him again with another press slam. And this time SNUKA goes down and stays down. Hawk with a chance to do some damage here. They're going right for the Doomsday device. This is a +4 maneuver. The pin roll here 7 or lower. And Brody just comes in time to make the save. As already from the get-go, Jimmy SNUKA in big trouble at the hands of Road Warrior Hawk, who just dominated the opening matchup leading to the Doomsday device. Animal now your legal man in the ring. Animal with a big power slam. Animal goes for the cover. The pin roll here is 4. And on a roll of 7, SNUKA able to kick out. But the champion's already in big trouble here. Animal stays on him, and now the Doomsday device is coming again. And BRUISER BRODY has seen enough. Brody is going to try and interrupt the Doomsday device. And on a roll of 9, let's see what is going to happen here as we go to our tag team interference chart. And it is Hawk who comes into the ring and takes out BRUISER BRODY. So Brody did disrupt the Doomsday device. He used the final pin save that his team has, but he saved Jimmy SNUKA from a broken neck. As Hawk and Brody are now brawling on the arena floor, and Animal in the center of the ring is in control with another big power slam. And it is Animal going for the cover. The pin roll now is 5. And on a roll of snake eyes, he got him. What a dominant performance by the Road Warriors. As they came into New York City and they kicked butt and they took names and they took the Patriot Tag Team Championship, beating the snot out of Jimmy SNUKA and putting him away for good as Animal with a power slam gets the pinfall on Jimmy SNUKA, while BRUISER BRODY and Road Warrior Hawk are brawling at ringside. So congratulations to your new Patriot Tag Team Champions, the team of Road Warrior Hawk and Road Warrior Animal, led to the ring by Gary Hart, much to the delight of Charles Helms. LOD, 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 says Charles Helms. As we have winners here in tonight's main event. Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal, proudly your new Patriot Tag Team Champions. All right, We are finished up here. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Charles Helms, Neil Lau, Al Red Sox fan, Thomas Morgan, Frank Wayne Scott. I believe that is everybody. So if you were here with us tonight, we thank you. If you are watching this on the YouTube delay, again, we thank you. Tomorrow, Sunday, we will be back on the channel with My Journey with Jesus. Another episode as we talk about the book of 1 Peter once again. And Charles Helms now has taken the role of ring announcer. Your winners and new Patriot Tag Team Champions, the Road Warriors. Also, Monday night, I will be making a special guest appearance on the Brock and Mike show. My two good friends, Brock Atkinson and Mike Delve Ketty, a.k.a. Mike Fortune, have a wrestling podcast. And we are going to be talking about Bryan Danielson on that character spotlight on the Brock and Mike podcast. I'll try to get a link to that up on Facebook between now and Monday night. The time on that will be 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. I will be on the Brock and Mike show for another character spotlight. So, you will get 3 doses of Dave this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So thank you one and all to everyone who has tuned in for your support. That's our stream, and I am out of here.